Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are well. So welcome back. Again, today we are going to start a new topic which is very important for the students who are in grade 9, grade 10, grade 11 and grade 12, because this topic is related to all the classes, that is all the grades. So this is for all the students who are in grade 9, grade 10, grade 11 and grade 12. So they have to see this topic from the basic, because for grade 9 it's a starting, for grade 10 also, but for grade 11 and 12 also it is going to come. So they have to do again from the basics. So I request you all to see this topic and go through it. Okay, so let's start. The name of the topic is chemical bonding. Now chemical bonding used to come in grade 9 also, from the basic, grade 10 also. In grade 11 and 12, some other topics or additional topics are going to get added. So when those additional topics we are going to do, then grade 9 and grade 10 students, they are not required to see that. So I will be stopping at that point, that I will be saying this is only for the grade 11 and 12. But I am going to make the top videos on chemical bonding in some parts. So for grade 11 and 12, all parts are important. For grade 9 and 10, I am going to tell them that up to which part they have to see. Okay, so let's start chemical bonding. Now before we start chemical bonding, we should know that what is this bonding all about. Okay, so basically here we are going to see that atoms or the molecule used to combine with each other, used to make a bond with each other. What is this bond? Basically it's an attractive force which is existing between the nucleus of two or more atoms or molecules, and because of these attractive forces they are going to form a type of a compound or type of a molecule or a type of a different type of a compounds, we can say. Okay, so how they are going to form and why they are going to form, that is very important. So our question is that why do atom combine, or why the molecule used to combine? But first we are going to the base, that is why the atom used to combine. Now I tell you one thing, that there are few gases exist like helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. These are their symbols: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, with their atomic number is 2, 10, 18, 36, 54 and 86. These are their atomic number. Now what is the very important thing in all these gases? Except this helium, all the gases, I am saying all the gases are having 8 electrons present in their valence shell. Okay, we have done that electronic configuration. So we know that when we write the electronic configuration of all these gases, we find that except helium, because the atomic number of helium is only 2, so it cannot have, all other gases are having 8 electrons present in their outermost shell, that is valence shell. Okay, that means their octet is complete. Okay, their octet is complete. Okay, now when we say helium, for helium also we can say that its duplet is complete. Okay, because it can have only 2 electrons and that will be present in only first shell, and first shell can have maximum of 2 electrons. So its duplet is also going to be complete. Okay, so these gases, when we see in the nature, they found in monoatomic form. All these gases exist as monoatomic form. So the reason behind that, we find that their valence shell is complete. Like in all these 5 gases, the octet is complete, and in the helium, duplet is complete. Now, so their valence shell is complete. It means they don't require electron further to complete their shell. So It means they can exist in monoatomic form. They not require any other atom to combine. It means these all gases are considered as noble gases. All these gases considered as noble gases. Okay, so it means any atom which is going to be having complete shell, that is complete valence shell, and not require any other electron to complete their shell, it become noble. It means it becomes stable. Why it's stable? Because it is existing in monoatomic form, means it does not require any other thing. So it is non-reactive at room temperature, and it is not reactive usually under the normal conditions of the temperature and pressure. So it means they are noble. Okay, so in order to have noble configuration, it means other atoms I am talking about or other elements I am talking about, in order to have this noble gas configuration, other elements also try to achieve it, because when they will achieve that noble gas configuration, then they become stable. So in order to stabilize their valence shell, or in order to stabilize their structure, they used to combine with other atom. Why? Because unlike noble gases, they don't have complete outermost shell. Either they may be having excess of electron, or either they may require some electrons to complete their shell. In such case, they have to take the help of other elements or other atoms to make their valence shell stable by making their electrons up to 8 or 2, that depends at which element we are talking about. Okay, so when these two, suppose two atoms are there and they are one is lacking electron and one require electron, sorry, one have excess of electron, then they can exchange the electron in such case, and they exchange it, it means they can combine, because whenever they are going to exchange, a kind of a bond is going to form. Like two friends are there, if they are sharing something or if they are exchanging the things, they become good friends. So a bond, a strong bond is formed between them. Similarly, if the two atoms are going to be there and they are exchanging the electrons in order to stabilize each other, they are helping each other at least. So it means when they are helping each other, means a kind of a bond is going to form between them, and that bond is known as chemical bond. Okay, so that is the reason why the atom used to combine with each other to form a bond. Okay, now what is the definition of this bond? Definition of this bond is it is a kind of a attractive force exists between two or more atoms. Attractive force existing between the two or more atoms when atom used to exchange the electron or share the electron between each other. Okay, so what is the meaning of this chemical bond? That it is the attractive force between two or more atoms when they share or exchange electron with each other. Okay, so the attractive force between the two or more atoms when they are sharing or exchanging the electron with each other, in order to become stable, that is very important, in order to become stable, that is their configuration is going to be stable, that is they are going to have the octet in their shell, and that is they want to achieve the noble gas configuration. So like they want to also become like noble gases, so they become stable. So they used to do the things, that is they used to exchange the electron, maybe they can share the electron also. So on the basis of that, a bond is formed, that is known as chemical bond. So that is why the chemical bond is formed, and that is the definition of the chemical bond. Now we are going to see that what are the different types of the chemical. Now we are going to see the types of the chemical bonding. So basically there are two types of chemical bonding exist. One is interatomic and other is intermolecule. Okay, intermolecule we are going to study for the higher classes, but interatomic can come in all type of the classes. So first we are going to discuss about the interatomic chemical bonding. Now in interatomic chemical bonding, basically there are three classes. First is ionic or electrovalent bonding. Ionic or electrovalent bonding, that is the first type in case of the interatomic. Then the second one is there, that is covalent bonding. Then the third type is there, that is coordinate bonding. And then the fourth type is also there, that is metallic bonding. Okay, so these are the four classes which are there, that is the ionic or electrovalent bonding, covalent bonding, coordinate bonding and metallic bonding. This type of the bonding is usually happen in the interatomic chemical bonding. So what is this all four types? We are going to discuss that one by one in detail also, but first I am going to tell you in a little bit in a short that what are these four types of the interatomic bonding. Ionic bonding is basically, as the name is suggesting, ions. So here we are going to see the formation of the ions, that is a charge atoms, or we can say charge particles, or the charge is going to exist on the atom when they are going to exchange the electron. So the exchange electron things can happen in the case of ionic or electrovalent bonding. Okay, then we are going to see the covalent bonding. Basically in covalent bonding we are going to see the sharing of the electrons between the atoms. So when the sharing of the electrons between the atom will occur, then the covalent bond is going to be formed. Then we are going to see the coordinate bonding. Actually coordinate bonding is a part of covalent bonding only, but we are going to study it separately because there is a little bit difference from the covalent bonding here. So coordinate bonding is another type of bonding where sharing of electron is there, but the sharing will be of different type that I am going to tell you when we are going to discuss in detail. Then there is one more kind, metallic bonding. Metallic bonding usually exists where only the metal atoms are going to be there, and usually we are talking about the heavy metals, transition metals. There it's this type of the metallic bonding is going to be seen. Okay, where the electrons are going to be present along with the metal ions. So one by one we are going to discuss all this. Intermolecular chemical bonding we are going to see it later, not now we are going to discuss, because this is usually coming in the higher classes. So first we have to move to these basics, and then we will be moving later on in other videos about the intermolecular. So now first of all we are going to discuss about the ionic or electrovalent bonding. We are going to see the ionic bonding first. Now we are going to start about ionic bonding. So ionic bonding or electrovalent bonding is the same thing. Now what is this ionic bonding all about? First, coming to the definition, when the bond is going to be formed between the two atoms, okay, that is bond between two atoms due to transfer of electrons between them. Transfer of electrons between them. If the bond is going to be formed between the atom due to the transfer of electron, then such type of bond is known as ionic bond. Okay, so the bond which is going to be formed is known as ionic bond. Okay, and the phenomena is known as ionic bonding. Now that is the definition. Now what is the meaning of all this thing? Meaning of this thing is, means suppose if we have two atoms like A and B, these are two atoms we are having. Now suppose A will be having certain excess of electron. If that excess of electron will be removed from A, then A can have the noble gas configuration, and B is lacking with that much number of electron which A can give, and after getting that number of electron, B can also achieve the noble gas configuration. Then electrons are going to be transferred from A to B. Now the atom which is going to transfer electron will acquire positive charge, as one electron it is giving to other atom. So it means one extra positive charge will now appear, as it is now not remaining neutral, because atom is neutral having equal number of electron and proton. Once it is giving one extra electron to other atom, it means one negative charge it is lacking, so the positive charge will automatically increase and it become cation. Okay, then the other atom which is going to gain electron will acquire a negative charge. Why it acquire a negative charge? Because it will be also having the equal number of electron and proton, but now it is gaining one electron extra, so it means one negative become extra, so it become negatively charged particle, and which is known as anion. Okay, and due to which the positive and negative charge, a kind of a electrostatic force will exist. Okay, what type of force? Electrostatic force will be existing between the two, and it results into the formation of a bond which is known as ionic bond or electrovalent bond. That's why it is known as ionic, as the ions are formed during the formation of this type of bond, and phenomena is of course known as ionic bonding. Okay, so that is the meaning of ionic bond, and that is how the ionic bond is going to be formed. Okay, now we are going to see with example also. But before I explain you that thing, one more thing I want to tell you, that when any atom is going to lose electron or any atom is going to gain electron, it cannot gain or lose electron in its original state. Okay, it should be converted into its gaseous state and gaseous atomic state. Okay, it means, suppose I am giving you example, then you can understand it better. The common example which most of the time we used to give, like sodium. Okay, now sodium is having the atomic number 11, so its configuration is 281. Okay, now sodium here existing in the solid state. Okay, now one more element is there, suppose chlorine. Chlorine is having the electronic configuration 287, as its atomic number is 17. Usually it remains in the gaseous state. Now if you see, if sodium can give one electron or can release one electron, it will have a noble gas configuration equivalent to helium, because neon, because neon is having atomic number 10, 28 configuration, while chlorine on gaining one electron become argon. Okay, so they can exchange the electron. Sodium can give electron, chlorine can gain electron, and will form ions and form compound. But first of all, they are required to be converted into the gaseous atomic form. When they will be converted into the gaseous atomic form, then only sodium can lose that extra electron. Okay, and when it will lose the extra electron, it will be having the configuration 28 now. So extra electron I am showing like this. Okay, then only it will be having a electronic configuration 28 like this. Okay, then in the gaseous state only. Okay, then chlorine also, when it is in gaseous state, will be having that extra electron, it will acquire the noble gas configuration, because that extra electron is transferred to the chlorine. After the after the electron get transferred to one atom to another, sodium atom in the gaseous state becomes sodium ion with configuration 28, while chlorine atom will become chloride ion, that is Cl negative, chloride ion. Whenever ionic form we are saying it as chloride. Okay, and it will be also in the gaseous form. Okay, why I am showing you this? Because I want to tell you that you can say like that also, that once the atom is losing electron, it becomes stable and it becomes sodium ion. Like chlorine also gaining electron and becomes stable. So when already they become stable, why they combine with each other? Okay, So they used to combine with each other because they will not remain in this state as a stable form. They become more stable when they combine with each other and exist in the solid form like this, and will form a common salt. You know, sodium chloride, which exists as solid at room temperature, the crystalline sodium chloride, and also known as common salt. So like that, the ionic compound is going to be formed, and the phenomena of ionic bonding is completed here. Okay. So any atom which is having the extra number of electrons can lose electron, other element can gain electron, but they will do it in their gaseous atomic form only. Once they gain and loss electron, they become cation and anion respectively, but in the gaseous state. So in order to become completely stable, they used to combine with each other, and when they combine, they will form a compound, that is ionic compound. Okay, we are going to see one more example, then you will understand it better. So more example. Suppose we are going to see the example of magnesium chloride, MgCl2, how it is going to be formed. Now we know that magnesium element will be existing in the solid form and is having the atomic number equivalent to 12 with configuration 2, 8 and 2. Okay. Now for forming the compound, or that is for losing the electron, magnesium is required to be converted into the gaseous state. When it is converted into the gaseous state, then it can lose those 2 electrons. Okay. Now another element is there. Suppose we are having chlorine, one more chlorine is there, and 2 chlorine atoms are having configuration 287, 287 respectively. Now why I am showing you these 2 chlorine atom here, because magnesium is having 2 electrons to transfer, and chlorine is require only 1 electron to complete its octet. So 2 chlorine atoms can take one electron each from the magnesium, and when they will do so, they can form the compound. So chlorine I am directly showing in the gaseous state, which is having 7 electrons each in their valence shell. Now suppose these valence electron I will be showing like this. So one of the valence electron will be transferred to this chlorine atom, and another electron is transferred to this chlorine atom. Once the electron get transferred, magnesium will acquire 2 plus, that is plus 2 charge over it, because now magnesium is having 2 positive charge. Why 2 positive charge? Because 2 electrons magnesium already transferred, so it means 2 negative, it will goes down, so 2 proton more, it means 2 positive extra. And chlorine, after gaining those electron, become chloride ion like this, and that too in a gaseous state. Gaseous state is very important because otherwise they will not combine. Okay, so now they have their charge, and they are also having their noble gas configuration completed. In order to become more stable, magnesium and these 2 chlorine atom used to combine with each other due to the electrostatic force of attraction between the positive and negative charge, which results in the formation of magnesium chloride, that is MgCl2. So that is how we can show the electron transfer between the atom. Okay, we can say also that there is one more method of representing that is known as Lewis dot structure. Now Lewis dot structure, basically we can represent it like this, that we can represent the outermost shell electron only, no need to write the electronic configuration. Then chlorine and 2 chlorine are there, so I am going to write the chlorine electron, that is only valence shell electron, 7 electron here, and here also the 7 valence shell electron. 1 electron will be transferred to this chlorine atom, 1 electron will be transferred to this chlorine atom. Once it get transferred, magnesium will acquire 2 positive charge, there will be no electron left in the valence shell, means 8 will be there, but no need to show that. And the chlorine will be now having the 8 electrons in its outermost shell, so it becomes chloride ion, that is 1 electron which is coming extra. I am showing it with the circle. Okay, same happened to the other chlorine atom also, it will now also having the 8 electrons in its outermost shell, and now become chloride ion because 1 electron is coming from the magnesium. All 3 will combine like this because of the electrostatic force and will form magnesium chloride. Okay, So that is how the chemical combination will occur, and that is how you can draw the dot structure. You can represent the dot structure diagram, because in examination they used to ask the draw the dot structure diagram of this. So you have to show the dot structure diagram for the magnesium, for the ionic compound like this. Okay. One more important thing related to that, in case of the ionic compound or ionic bonding, what type of the elements can combine and form the ionic bond? So basically, if we are talking about group first, second and third element, okay, mostly group first and second. In some exceptional cases exist in group third where they will not form the ionic compound, otherwise they can. Group first, second and third element, wherever they are involved, they will be always forming ionic bond. Okay, and they used to form the ionic bond with the elements of group 5, 6, 7. 8 is already the noble gas. So group 5, 6, 7. So whenever they are going to combine with them, they will form usually the ionic compound. That you must remember. Okay, like you can see, magnesium is belonging to the group 2 and chlorine is belonging to the group 17 or 7, you can say, and same is here. In the case of, in the other example also, in the sodium and chlorine, sodium belonging to the first group. So usually first group and third element will be involved in the formation of ionic bond. So today we have discussed till the formation of the ionic bond and how we are going to represent the dot structure. In the next video for chemical bonding, we are going to see further about the properties of the ionic bond, ionic compounds which are formed, and about the covalent bonding, that is different type of bonding we are going to discuss. So that is all for today. So please subscribe my channel, watch it, and see you in the next video.